disappointed with the monk historically. So I'm excited to dive in to some of these changes in 2024. We get martial arts from level 1. So that is unarmed strikes and monk weapons, which are simple melee weapons, and now also martial melee weapons that have the light property. That's nice. And you get these benefits while you are unarmed or wielding only monk weapons, and you aren't wearing armor or wielding a shield. You get a bonus unarmed strike as bonus action. That's just for free. You get your martial arts die, which is a 1d6 instead of 1d4. Got a buff there. That's nice. And then that continues to go up as you gain levels. And you use dexterity instead of strength for your attack and damage. And then in addition, this is new. When you grapple or shove, you can use dexterity instead of strength. That is a huge buff for monks. Because before that was just like you were not going to be kind of that grappler, move people around the battlefield, wrestled them to the ground type of monk, unless you put points in strength, which you're already going to put points into dexterity and wisdom and constitution for your HP. So it was just all over the place. Let's see, level 1. You get unarmored defense, that's dex plus wisdom, that's the same. Level 2, you get your monk's focus, and that's your focus points, which used to be key points. And you get a couple of ways that you can use them. And they come back on a short or long rest. If you have to make a saving throw, it uses your wisdom modifier to calculate that. You can expend 1 focus point to make 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. Again, you still get 1 for free, which is great. Patient defense, you can disengage as a bonus action. Alternatively, you can spend a focus point to disengage and dodge as a bonus action. That's really nice. The dodge, it was just dodge before, but now you can disengage and dodge, and you can just disengage for free. And Step of the Wind, you can dash as a bonus action. So all of these have, I guess you could look at it as like a free version and then a key point or focus point version. So free bonus unarmed strike, spend a point to make it 2. Free disengage, spend a focus point to also dodge. Free dash as a bonus action, spend a focus point to also disengage. And for that one, your jump distance is doubled for the turn. That's pretty cool. Pair that with a race that can jump pretty far, and also the jump spell. Man, you're a crazy jumper. Let's see, unarmored movement. You get 10 feet at level 2, and that will increase as well. Level 2, Uncanny Metabolism. When you roll initiative, you regain all of your expended focus points. That's nice. And when you do, roll your martial arts die and regain hit points. Hey, equal to your monk level plus the number rolled. That's pretty great. And that's once per long rest. So effectively doubling the amount of focus points that you get if you are rolling initiative. You get to refresh those and gain some hit points. That's great. Level 3, you deflect attacks. If an attack roll hits you and it's bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing, then you can take a reaction to reduce the damage. That's 1d10 plus your dex modifier and monk level. And if you reduce it to 0, you spend focus points. So again, free version, focus point version. If you do so, choose a creature you can see within 5 feet of yourself if the attack was a melee attack, and a creature within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover if it was a ranged attack. And they must succeed on a dex save or take damage equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die plus your dex modifier. And so you get to redirect those attacks. And that is a great buff. It used to just be ranged attacks. Now it's also melee attacks as well. And that's really nice. Moving right along. At level 4, you get slow fall. I don't believe that's new. You can take a reaction when you fall. Oh, to reduce any fall damage you take, equal to 5 times your monk level. That might be the same. That's pretty close to the same, at least. At level 5, you get Stunning Strike. This has been nerfed. This was kind of a pretty heavily OP feature for the monk because you could just keep someone stun locked for a long time. Because you're making 4 attacks on your turn if they're all Stunning Strikes. You are burning your focus points, but then your party just gets to gang up on whoever you're fighting. So now it's just once per turn when you hit a creature. You expend 1 focus point to attempt a Stunning Strike. They make a Constitution save, and if they fail, they're stunned until the start of your next turn, which means they basically lose their turn. On a successful save, the target's speed is halved until the start of your next turn. So even if it fails, you still do something. That's nice. And 1 attack roll is made with advantage against them rather than all of them, because of the stun condition. At level 6, whenever you deal damage with an unarmed strike, you can deal your choice of force damage or its normal damage type. This is their way of getting around, like, oh, it's considered magical for overcoming resistances, but actually your fists aren't magical. So they're just like, it deals force damage. All right, force damage. At level 7, you get evasion. It's a pretty common feature. If you make a dex save to take only half damage, you take no damage if you succeed, and only half if you fail. But only if you're not incapacitated. Nothing new there. Level 9, acrobatic movement. You can move along vertical surfaces and across liquids. That's cool because I believe that the name has been changed on that. It used to be called... it was a part of unarmored movement, but now that's kind of its own thing. And this is now acrobatic movement. At level 10, you get heightened focus. So when you do Flurry of Blows, you get 3 unarmed strikes instead of 2. When you do Patient Defense, you get temporary hit points equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die. And when you do Step of the Wind, you can choose a willing creature within 5 feet of you that's large or smaller, and you move the creature with you until the end of your turn, and the creature's movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. That's really nice. It's kind of like these buffs to Flurry of Blows, Patient Defense, and Step of the Wind are taking what the monk already does well and just making it better compared to the 2014 version. And we're still at level 10, so the monk has a lot here. The monk had a lot already, but some of it kind of like fell flat. And a lot of it was just movement buffs, which, I mean, at a certain point, you don't need that much movement. So this is cool. Self-restoration. You can remove one of the following conditions at the end of each of your turns: charmed, frightened, or poisoned. And in addition, foregoing food and drink doesn't give you levels of exhaustion. That's nice. That's nice. Deflect energy, that's new. It's a buff to deflect attacks, again taking what it does well and making it better. And it's any damage type now that you can deflect. That's pretty crazy. Enemy wizard casts a fireball. Psych! Oh wait, it's not an attack, but a firebolt. Psych! Sending that right back at you. Alright. Disciplined Survivor, level 14. You get proficiency in all saving throws. That was called something different, but I don't think that's changed. But this part is new. Whenever you make a saving throw and fail, you can re-roll it by using a focus point. That's nice. Level 15, Perfect Focus. When you roll initiative and don't use your uncanny metabolism, you regain expended focus points if you have 4. Until you have 4 if you have 3 or fewer. So if you have 1, 2, or 3, you get bumped up to 4. Level 18, Superior Defense. Also 0 for this one. If you have 0 through 3, you get bumped up to 4 focus points. Alright. Level 18, Superior Defense. At the start of your turn, you can use 3 focus points. to bolster yourself against harm for 1 minute, or until you become incapacitated. During that time, you have resistance to all damage except for force damage. Wow, that's nice. If you know that a big attack is coming, then it's like, yeah, 3 focus points to have that damage with resistance. Yeah, I'll take that. Alright, Epic Boon at level 19. I'll make a video specifically for Epic Boons. Actually, I think that'll probably end up being a part of the feats. And then level 20 Body and Mind. Your Dexterity and Wisdom scores increase by 4 to a maximum of 25. So if you increase those with either one of those with an Epic Boon, then you can increase it to 25 at level 20. That's nice. That's kind of just cut and paste from the Barbarian with a little change. Instead of Strength and Con, it's Dex and Wisdom. But that is much better than it used to be, the capstone. All right. Now we're going into the monk subclasses. First we have the Warrior of Mercy, formerly known as the Way of Mercy. You can use Hand of Harm, use a focus point when you hit with an unarmed strike to deal extra necrotic damage equal to a martial arts die and your wisdom modifier. Or you can do a Hand of Healing to expend a focus point, touch a creature, and restore hit points equal to a martial arts die plus your wisdom modifier. And then, just for Hand of Healing, when you use your Flurry of Blows, you can replace one of the unarmed strikes with the use of this feature without expending a focus point. That's nice. That's new. You also gain proficiency in Insight and Medicine and the Herbalism Kit. I don't believe that's new, unless I'm missing something small. Level 6, when you use Hand of Harm on a creature, you can also poison them. Hand of Healing, when you heal them, you can also end one of the following conditions. I believe that is the same as well. Level 11, Flurry of Healing and Harm. When you use Flurry of Blows, you can replace each of the unarmed strikes with a use of Hand of Healing without expending extra focus points. That's nice. And when you make an unarmed strike with Flurry of Blows and deal damage, you can use Hand of Harm with that strike without expending a focus point for Hand of Harm. That's still limited to once per turn. Otherwise, that would be kind of crazy damage for the monk. You can do this number of times equal to your Wisdom modifier. And you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. And finally, level 17. You can take the magic action, touch a corpse that has died within 24 hours, use 5 focus points, it returned to life with 4d10 plus your wisdom modifier hit points, and it revives with any of those same conditions removed. And you can do that once per long rest. That's nice. Adds a little extra healing to the monk. That's solid. Not much has changed there, but I think overall buff, because the overall monk is buffed. That takes us to the Warrior of Shadow. You can expend 1 focus point to cast Darkness, and you can see within the spell's area. And while the spell persists, you can move the darkness. I think that might be new. To a space within 60 feet of yourself at the start of each of your turns. That's nice. Let's see. You gain dark vision of 60 feet, or it increases by 60 feet if you already have it, and you know minor illusion. I believe that's all the same, except I think casting darkness might be cheaper. And I'm not sure if you could see through it before, which is kind of an oversight that has now been remedied, if I'm correct. They did take away, I think it was Pass Without Trace, that is gone from this, which is unfortunate, but hey, what are you going to do? At level 6, if you're in dim light or darkness, you can use a bonus action to teleport 60 feet to another dim or dark place. And then you have advantage on the next melee attack you make on that turn. At level 11, that gets better. When you use Shadow Step, you can expend 1 focus point. Again, free version and focus point version. To remove the requirement that you must start and end in dim light or darkness. That's nice, because if you're fighting in the daytime, you're kind of screwed. As a part of this bonus action, you can make an unarmed strike immediately after you teleport. That's nice. Which you also get advantage on. So cool. And then level 17, as a magic action, when you're in dim light or darkness, use 3 focus points. You are shrouded in shadow for 1 minute, which means you are invisible. You are incorporeal, which means you can move through occupied spaces as if they're difficult terrain, which means it costs 2 feet of movement per 1 foot that you move. And then Shadow Flurry. You can use Flurry of Blows without expending any focus points. That's pretty nice. I do like that. So, RIP to Pass Without Trace. Otherwise, I feel like definite buffs to the Shadow Monk. Next is the Warrior of the Elements. We get Elemental Attunement, which, by the way, I'm so excited for this. I did a homebrew version of the Monk, and a lot of that actually is what ended up becoming the 2024 version of the Monk. Or the Warrior of the Elements Monk. And so, a lot of the things that I had baked into that homebrew subclass showed up in this book, and it's just, oh man, I'm so excited. I'm happy. You can finally live your avatar dreams. It's great. But let's dive into it. At the start of your turn, spend a focus point to imbue yourself with elemental energy that lasts for 10 minutes. And you gain the following benefits. When you make an unarmed strike, it's 10 feet greater than normal. And whenever you hit with an unarmed strike, you can cause it to deal acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder, rather than its normal damage type. And when you do this, you can also force them to make a strength save, and you can move the target up to 10 feet toward or away from you as elemental energy swirls around it. You also learn the Elementalism spell, which is the replacement of control flames, shape water, gust, and move earth. It's just a simplification, so now if you want to do elemental stuff, you just need the one spell. It's great. I will dive into that a little more. If I end up making a spells video, let me know if you want me to, and I can make it happen. At level 6, as a magic action, spend 2 focus points, and you create a burst in a 20-foot radius sphere, centered on a point within 120 feet of yourself, and it's acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. Everyone in the sphere makes a dex save, and they take damage equal to 3 rolls of your martial arts die. So you got like a mini fireball. That's nice. Stride of the Elements also brings some much needed range to the monk, which is nice. Stride of the Elements, when your elemental attunement is active, you have a fly speed and a swim speed equal to your speed. That's nice. So much movement for the monk because you get those movement boosts as well. And then Elemental Epitome. Wow. You get damage resistance to one of the following types when your elemental attunement is active. So you can choose. That's great. And then Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, Thunder. At the start of each of your turns, you can change this choice. Wow. Destructive Stride. When you step of the wind, your speed increases by 20. So that means that if you're dashing, then you get 40 speed. A boost of 40 for that turn. For that duration, any creature of your choice takes damage equal to 1 roll of your martial arts die when you enter a space within 5 feet of it. So you just can run by everyone or at this point fly by everyone and deal your martial arts die to them. And that is Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, Thunder. That only happens once per turn, so you can't be doing circles around someone. And then finally, Empowered Strikes. Once on each of your turns, you can deal extra damage to a target equal to 1 roll of your martial arts die. The extra damage is the same dealt by that strike. Wow. The the Warrior of the Elements monk is basically a whole new subclass. They just like gutted this thing and said, screw everything that we've done up to this point. Let's just listen to the community. And that's really nice. I really appreciate that. And that brings us to the final subclass of the monk, the Warrior of the Open Hand. We get our open hand technique. When you hit a creature with an attack granted by Flurry of Blows, you can impose one of the following effects. They either can't make opportunity attacks, they are pushed 15 feet, or they are knocked prone. That's cool. I like that. Next is Wholeness of Body. You gain the ability to heal yourself. As a bonus action, roll a martial arts die. Regain hit points equal to the number rolled plus your wisdom modifier. And you can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and they come back on a long rest. Level 11 is Fleet Step. When you take a bonus action other than Step of the Wind, you can also use Step of the Wind. That's nice. That's solid. And then level 17, Quivering Palm. You gain the ability to set up lethal vibrations in someone's body when you hit with an unarmed strike for focus points. And they last for a number of days equal to your monk level. They're harmless until you take an action to end them. Or when you take the attack action on your turn, you forego the attacks to end the vibrations. You and the target must be on the same plane. They make a con save, taking 10d12 force damage on a failed save or half as much on a successful one. I believe they used to just die, which this feels a lot better. You can only have one creature under this effect at a time, and you can end it harmlessly with no action required. A little bit new here with the level 11, the change to Quivering Palm. I believe Wholeness of Body is the same. Open hand technique, you get a lot of cool stuff that I'm not sure you could do before. So, general buffs here, I would say, other than Quivering Palm. But even that, the idea of just like, slap, you die. It doesn't really feel fun. I would definitely rather roll 10d12 damage and like, oh my gosh, I get to use my d12s. Everyone, d12s, d12s! Yeah, screw you, big bad. Like, that just feels more fun. Alright, so that is the monk. Next we'll be going into the paladin.